Howdy folks, welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. I wanted to take a look at a tank that I feel gets overlooked in World of Tanks, the T-150. It's one of the Russian Tier 6 heavies, and when you say Russian Tier 6 heavy tank, immediately everybody thinks of the KV-1S. And the KV-1S is a powerful machine. And I feel that the T-150 gets a lot of bad press, purely because the KV-1S is so powerful. And it's certainly true that if you have a platoon of 3 KV-1Ss in a Tier 6 match, they're a devastating force on the battlefield. But if you're not in a platoon of KV-1Ss, I would rather be in a T-150. And the reason I'd rather be in a T-150 is because of that armour. It also gets a pretty good gun. A lot of people fail to give the gun, the 107mm gun on the T-150, the respect it deserves. Yeah, it doesn't have that 390 alpha damage that the KV-1S's gun does, but it does 300, which is pretty damn respectable at Tier 6. It doesn't quite have the same amount of penetration, only has 167 versus the 175 of the KV-1S's 122mm gun. But it fires almost twice as quickly. As this Churchill is about to discover to his cost. So while the gun doesn't have the raw brute alpha damage of the KV-1S's gun, the T-150 does have one trump card up its sleeve, and that's the armour. Now, on paper, the T-150 is a better armoured tank, even from the start. It has 90mm at the front, whereas the KV-1S only has 75. But it's not so much the raw thickness of the frontal armour that's the significant factor on the T-150. It's the fact that it also has 90mm at the sides, whereas the KV-1S only has 60. But again, it's not really down to the raw thickness of the armour, it's in how you angle it. Because the T-150 has the same 90mm at the front that it does at the side, it means you can angle it at 45 degrees and increase that effective thickness to 127mm, and that's where the difference is. It means you can angle the T-150 in a way that would be suicide if you tried to do it in the KV-1S, because the KV-1S would just get its side penetrated over and over and over. And that's why I feel that the T-150 just has that slight edge over the KV-1S thanks to its armour and angling the armour if you're playing the two tanks alone. Of course, if you've got a platoon and you all have KV-1Ss, well, yeah, go for it. The firepower, coordinated firepower of a KV-1S platoon is just ridiculous. Playing on your Jack Jones, on the other hand, I think the T-150 is the way to go. And given that in an upcoming patch to World of Tanks, the T-150 is either going to have that 122mm gun nerfed or lose it entirely, I think it's about time we started looking at other options. And that means the T-150. So yeah, it does well when it's top tier, as it should. How about when it's not? Tier 7 game, Tier 6 heavy tank. Tundra, one of the newer maps. And, you know, most people tend to head up to, well, you can see where that SU-100's going, around the corner here, up to D0 on this map. I just do not like fighting up there. It's too much of a choke point. The ridge in the middle, where there are some rocks for cover, both tanks from both sides have to expose their underbelly as they poke around those rocks. It's suicide. I really don't like fighting up there, so I've been exploring other areas of the map. And I'm only a Tier 6 heavy in a Tier 7 game, so it doesn't really matter that much where I go. Plenty of enemy tanks spotted. Got the 107mm gun on the T-150. Very low DPM, but decent alpha and good penetration. Not very accurate. Horrible aiming time. But the T-150 has good armour even in a tier 7 match. T-29's fired and missed. Got all the time in the world to aim. And there you go. Slightly low damage roll, but hey, damage is damage. Okay, he's going to have reload. He's missed again. Oh, damn it. KV3 coming around that side, but doesn't have shots at me. That T-29 is going down. Is he going to kill the SU-152 before I get around though? No, SU-152 blows him away. Good stuff. Next, KV3, I suppose. You're rude not to. It looks like he's exchanging fire, and it looks like he's mostly stock as well. Yep. Looks like he's exchanging fire with that IS. Ah, haha, you bounced. Sucks to be you. There we go. There you go, IS. That's how it's done. Right, I'm going to use them as cover while I reload. They do have 2 artillery. One of them's tier 5. You'll note that me and that KV3 were both using the same gun. And he actually has stronger armour, even stock, than I do. But I angled. He didn't. And it looks like we've won the fight for the old choke point over on the east there. So I'm actually in a decent position to come around and get some sneaky shots on the guys who are pinned down by the fellas on the ridge up there. Like maybe this IS. Ah, no. Sir Foch beat me to it in his Hellcat. There's a T-29 up here though. Oh. I've been lucky to get around there and finish this fella off. Coming through the swamp here slows you down a lot, and the T-150 isn't the fastest tank in the world in the first place, but I might actually do it. Come on, where are you? There he is. Pretty good, 300 damage. Didn't get the kill. Circumflexes nails him in his FV304, but he didn't hurt me either. Backed up, extreme angle, frontal armour, bounced the shot. Was he using the 105mm? Yep, he was as well. 198mm of penetration on that. T-150 still a strong tank, even in a tier 7 game. Very, very troll armour. And we're winning 13-3. KV3 and a T-29 both up in this corner of the map. And oh no, the T-29's moved. KV3 still there though, and I'm probably not. No, he's gone. KV3 up there. Yeah, that's probably why they lost this end of the map, because of the KV3 and the T-29 sitting up here instead of down there fighting it out. Is this T-29 going to give me the kill? Oof, almost. Good enough. Game over. 1500 damage. Almost 1600. Not bad. Not bad at all. T-150 is still a strong tank, even in a tier 7 game. The gun is more than good enough, and the armour is still very, very good. Alright, let's see how it does in a tier 8 match. Third of the team, tier 8. The next third of the team, tier 7. And then right at the bottom of the feeding chain, there's us in the tier 6s. Unlike the KV-1S, the T-150 is still a tank that you can afford to be aggressive with, if you know what you're doing, even in a tier 8 match. Now it is risky. You do need to know what's going on the battlefield. Your situational awareness has to be good, because it all comes down to angling your armour and using the available cover. But you can do it in a way that a KV-1S is going to have big problems doing. Like this guy. 60mm of side armour? No problem. I should probably have just let him burn, but the gun was loaded. He was there. Why not? Now at this point, I don't know where the enemy artillery is. I've got solid cover between myself and that IS-3, and I'm angling my armour against that M6, looking for a shot at him. And that's when the artillery smacks me right in the side of the turret. Now, it was an S-51. I am kind of lucky that he hit me in the side of the turret, or I'd be dead. 100mm of side turret armour. But artillery has now given his position away. In order to hit me from that angle, he has to be sitting on the wooded slope just to the east of the enemy cap circle. So now I know where he is, I can position myself effectively. So I'm going to have to either continue hugging the side wall of this building or stay at the back end of it. And, you know, try to use my teammates, make them more attractive targets. Now, the 107mm gun does have a very, very long aiming time, and the IS-3 was moving forward. If I hadn't twitched the barrel just at the last second, that would probably have gone in. But, hello, Mr. T-69. Right now, you are a more attractive target. Very conscious of that S-51's position. I really don't want to get hit by him again. But the T-69's got some solid cover between me and him. I'm not going to get another shot. Meanwhile, that IS-6 and 4502A are pressuring this IS-3 from the front. And I'm still reasonably artillery safe here. So, going for those engine shots, trying to set him on fire. Quick look around, make sure I'm not exposing myself to anybody on the hill when I come around to take these shots, and plant another one into his engine. And here he comes. Yeah, he wants me dead. Put another one into him, angle, back off, he snaps the shot, hits the building, the IS-6 finishes him off. And at that angle, even if the IS-3 hadn't missed, it's highly unlikely he would have penetrated my frontal armour. Not angled as steeply as that. At the very best, he may have blown a track off. And now it's just a question of cleaning up and trying not to do anything stupid. More than anything else, human error is what gets you killed in World of Tanks, over and over and over. Well, it's what gets me killed over and over and over. Getting overconfident, failing to understand the capabilities of your tank, what it can do, what it can't do, misjudging, or sometimes even overestimating the enemies in front of you. And I think the mark of a good tank in World of Tanks is not how well it does when it's top tier. It's how well it does when it's not top tier. And I think that the T-150 just performs better in a tier 8 game than the KV-1S does, while perhaps not being able to quite ruffle stomp as much as a KV-1S can in a tier 6 game. You're not always going to get into tier 6 games. And in a tier 8 match, I'd rather be in a T-150. Of course, I would also rather not be stuck on the hill here on Westfield. Oh, there's the S-51. Come on. Yes, revenge. So I might be stuck and unable to move the tank, but I can still get justice on the artillery. Even if I'd done nothing else, that would have been a good game. Take care on that battlefield, folks. I'll catch you next time.